more and more countries wanting to leave the Commonwealth.
Right.
And once this doesn't work and there's no financial support coming from the Crown, the Rothschilds, Chucky, the Order of the Dragon, and they have a different way to go, you know, quote unquote, a different way to go, then we will see a lot of this. That's the same reason why we're seeing a lot of countries drop the dollar. Because, all right, so what does this do to the United Kingdom? Because you need to be aware of this, because you got a lunatic on the loose, okay? So we talked about how this is the way the fiat system works. This isn't the way it's going to work. This is the way that it did work in the past. So you've got the almighty dollar here, which backs every currency in the world. Okay. But with the United Kingdom, it's indirectly. So it also has control over all commodities. And then over here, you have the British pound. Oh dear, GBP it's called. I was trying to remember the symbol. I know that this is the euro. So anyway, the British pound. Now the British pound is supported by the production lines of all of the Commonwealth. So what exactly does this mean? This means that anything that is not a commodity, so no oil, no gas, all of that, you know, no anything that's traded in the commodities futures market, but the rest of it, all of their global, the GDP of the planet, of the Commonwealth countries, of the Commonwealth countries goes to back the British pound, and then the British pound and then turns in all of those derivatives that are derived from the production contracts and goes back to support the dollar. Interesting, huh?
Right. Yeah.
So if these countries leave the Commonwealth, which is probably the best thing for them, and walk away from the dollar, which is probably also the best thing for them, then now all of the countries that were under the Commonwealth are now going to see an uptick in their global, the GDP, number one. Number two, you'll have cheaper goods. You won't have to pay so much for oil, for gas, for all of these things, because you're not importing it and you have it. Not all countries do, but a lot of the countries do. The same thing with food products. It'll be shaky for the British pound unless they come up with a way to support all of those production contracts that are now backing the British pound and the basket of currencies that are the Commonwealth currencies, you know, such as the South African rand. And, you know, there's a lot of import and export that happen in those countries that are now supporting the British pound. Does the United Kingdom have enough to survive? Meaning money still works on supply and demand, even though there might be gold, platinum, silver, and whatnot behind it. It is still not going to change the fact that you need those production lines, reasons for that money to be out there. And if you don't have it, there goes the whole mechanism, except for the Commonwealth countries who will do just fine. We've already talked about how to support the dollar. Now let's talk about supporting the dollar. Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about the $1 trillion coin in platinum and why this will never work. See, this is what happens when you get a bunch of operatives thinking they know how the financial system runs, when you don't. And I did talk about this a little bit the other day, but I wanted to really kind of point it out because sometimes it's easier when you see it and when you hear it to make it make sense. Okay, so the mint is who prints our coinage at this moment. The mint is part of the Department of Treasury. It is not part of the Federal Reserve, and it does have the right to print coinage. Sort of, kind of, but not really. You still need, all coinage requires allocation numbers as well. That's number one. Also, when you put a value on the coin, $1 trillion, you're calling it, the $1 trillion coin, when you put a value on it, it is no different than issuing a treasury note. So that means the United States government, who printed the coin, not only needs an allocation number, but number two, they also need to have 1 trillion in assets. And anything that's in the IRS is not included in this number because all the taxpayer money has nothing to do with the assets of the United States government. Okay? Now, number three. In order to make this coin good, and the reason why they're talking about it is because they believe, well, if she's got the gold, she being me, it's her, the broad, you remember me.
Right.
Okay, so platinum, they think, oh, no, she doesn't have any of the other rare earth minerals. That would be a no. We have all of them. Over the years, all of them. You gave us all of them. So platinum is no exception. But in the mind of Chucky, who has told everybody he's going to be the Pindar, this weekend, it's going to all happen, and it's going to take effect, and then he will have back control of the BLM land, just like the Rothschilds and the Crown and whatnot do. So he's looking forward to having control over BLM, then to support the $1 trillion platinum coin, which is never going to happen. And then they're going to take that coin, and then they're going to go back the central bank digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan right now.
Wow. So there's a lot hinging on Chucky right now.
That's what I keep telling you. That booty better be good. Better be
amazing.
Better move it all around and kind of do the Solomon dance or whatever it is you do and make that work, because the entire world, should this not work out, which it will not work, I'm telling you right now, nothing will change come tomorrow, come tonight, come Monday. I don't care how many rituals and how many fires you dance around and all the things that you're doing right now. It's never going to happen.
Wow.
Yep. Happy full moon. It's a great night to do things like that outside. You always operate in the darkness, I'm sure they'll be doing some really funky stuff over there in the Philippines. The Philippine Temple, which is up in, well, let's just leave it at the Philippine Temple, because otherwise there's going to be a bunch of dragon pilgrimages there, is one of the places where the chair was held for a very, very long, long time. And, they do this whole ritual with the Order of the Dragon people, and they walk up the steps and they see if they can stick their hand in. Sounds like we're watching that movie with Eddie Murphy. I watched it, the Golden Child. They stick their hand in and see if they survive, if it's time for them to go in, if they're the right person, the chosen one, or their hand gets bitten off. Like, I imagine that scene in Pretty Woman, where they slap the box, like maybe that's what they do. I don't know, but I know that there's no stone, there's no Solomon ritual that is going to change the outcome tomorrow. Most of these agreements have already expired. It's not really a thing. And we really don't have any one that's willing to come back and get up in Chucky anyway, because that would be the Draco is what they're looking for. So, yep. So we'll be back here talking about this on Monday, which will work out exactly the way we said, just like we said in the news that the Americans were the ones to blame, but we heard it here first days before.
That's right.
See?
Yeah.
It's starting to become public now.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, well, I don't believe you, but it's coming right out in the mainstream news and you can't deny it.
Yep.
So China also, deep state, is desperately hoping that this is going to work out to their advantage, but it won't. So you can save the little coin of platinum, but I'll take it. Now, see, the right way to do this, the right way to do this would be to issue the coin right now as a commemorative coin.
Mm.
As long as it doesn't have Trump's face on it, or anybody else, so, maybe we could put a flower or something on it. That'd be nice. But they've done the coin deal many, many times, sometimes with face value, sometimes without. I have lots of copies of them. I can put some copies if you want in maybe the general chat on Telegram for people to see. So it's interesting part of history. But if you were to do this right with the current state of the Union of the United States, you would actually issue a coin that is commemorative. In other words, it doesn't actually have, other than the metal that it's printed on, it doesn't actually have a monetary value. Therefore, it's not a debt of the United States. Now, if you were to do that, now you need a buyer that feels that that coin is so valuable that you want to buy it for $1 trillion or $2 trillion or whatever the pre-negotiated amount is. Well, we are ready to buy a commemorative coin over here. Yeah.
Yes.
But I can tell you right now, Chucky's not. The Crown won't be able to. The Rothschilds won't. The Chinese won't. The Order of the Red Dragon won't. Even though they're running around the world going to all of these different special locations, still hoping for someone, anyone, baby, come back. Can't sing. All right, let's talk about good news now. So we've talked about the fact that all these agreements are expiring, and they're expiring based on the fact that the Abraxas agreement has already expired. The main one that was tied to all of these different things over the last 3 billion years. It's where the Draco got their power from. It's where the